have for you. The W126 Bara Swap is back on. So we're excited we've done a bit of work on it so far, and we're excited to let you guys see what's happened. Get this off of here. Had it sitting here for a while. But that is basically where we're at. It's had a full color change. Interior's been pulled out and we're back at it. Got a whole bunch of parts for it. T-mat sound deadening, new interior, everything's ready to go. This car is ready to be finished up, it's ready to get pushed off to Strat at the Lowdown Co. to get all the air suspension done, and yeah, we're excited. So I'll put you guys in on how far we are. So as you can see, Bara's in. We have done a bit of changes to it. We should have fitted the engine again before we sent it off to paint. Unfortunately, we were just too excited, and it had been prepped and sitting here for so long, and we were like, it's ready for paint, but there was a few minor details we did want to change, which just slipped the cracks, and we redid the engine mounts. Still the same setup, pretty much. Polyurethane bushes on some shackle mount type universal engine mounts, but we've reset it. It had a slight offset to it which you could hardly notice, but it bothered me, so that's been fixed. The mounts themselves, obviously over the years we've increased our technique and gotten better at a few things, so that's what we've gone and done. The list of work that needs to be done has been tallied, and yeah, we're going to start with laying sound deadening inside the interior, get the carpet put in, start slapping in the interior and all that stuff. While that is happening, one of the guys will be doing that. I will crack on fitting the intake, finishing up reassembling the turbo. Hopefully I have all the parts for it, and building downpipe, putting the intercooler back, putting the radiator on, building boost pipes, water pipes. Some of this stuff, it's been 3 years, some of the stuff is here, some of the stuff is there. We just got to get everything back together, and we're just super excited. So, let's crack on, guys. Okay, so we are carrying on with the W126. We're just super excited for it. We have done a few other things. Tyron cracked on and sorted out the engine mounts. We've moved the motor a little bit. I'm happy with that. So now it's time to move on to things like the small little turbo that we are putting on here. Right, so we have a Garrett GT35. So we have a Garrett GT35. So we could have gone with, you know, a more modern, not internally wastegated eBay turbo for, you know, similar price. But we wanted something Garrett, something that's easily, you can get parts for it, that kind of stuff. And also the guy who builds my turbos, you know, to some of the Chinese eBay stuff to get bearings and, you know, serviceable items on those things is just ridiculous. Their tolerances are never the same and all of that. So we managed to get this 3576. It's got very big housings. It's got a twin scroll housing. We're not going to use the twin scroll exhaust housing though, and it's obviously internally gated. We're not aiming for 1,000 pounds of boost here, so it's going to be perfect for what we need. We have had the core rebuilt by Gabby at Fastech, so brand new internals, everything there has been properly done. We did have it painted and everything ready. The housing was coated, but we since then decided we're not going to run silicone joiners. We are going with boost clamps. Right, so what a boost clamp basically is, and the reason we're going for that is there's nothing wrong with silicone joiners. I mean, they work. We have had them on a couple of high boost applications, but we also have had them shoot off, and yeah, sometimes they just don't look nice. We're gonna make sure that this car is show quality level. The paint job just stands out, so everything else needs to just stand out, as well as the BBS RS wheels. You know, when you have a set of wheels worth almost as much as the car, you want everything to sort of stick to that standard. And yeah, so basically what a boost clamp is it's an aluminium coupler, anodized in any color, blue, black, red, and then basically two separate pieces of aluminium, a male and a female, two O-rings, and they slide together. This gets put on your one part of your boost pipe, this gets put on whatever, turbo side, however you want to have them. But the nice thing is it does allow for a little bit of movement and flex when they are clamped together, but nothing is going to blow off. So we're going with that. I also I'm not a fan of aluminum, whatever you want to call it. I prefer stainless steel, so we are going to go with stainless steel boost pipes, and for that I have machined stainless steel couplers. So it'll go onto the other end of the boost clamp, and then from there we have your aluminium side and your stainless steel side, and we can then run stainless steel boost pipes. And yeah, let's get cracking on that, guys. Alright guys, so now that we've got our turbo fitted and basically our boost coupler ready to be made, we obviously need to put an intercooler. So I am busy hunting for a new radiator for this car. It's been standing so long, we might have used the one that we had for this on another project or whatever happened with it. But for the meantime, we have pretty much an exact fitting radiator from another engine swap we're busy with. So I'm going to pop that thing on and then basically make our intercooler, well, our mounts for our intercooler. And the intercooler we're using is a just a generic eBay cooler. Yeah, I do remember in our last episode on this build, I had modified the long cooler that we had, and since then it's been used. That's the thing with projects standing for such a long time. Doesn't stay where it should. But anyway, we've got this one, no harm, no fuss. This is a 663 by 550 by 180 or 480 by 180. Can't remember off the top of my head, but it'll do the trick. And let's get it on. Okay, right, so we have our intercooler mounted. It was a pretty simple thing. Tyron just made us two little brackets over here on the bottom, and we're basically going to go with a plate on the front here, one single plate here that's going to go up, have a slight little slot in it here for the bonnet latch, and yeah, put some speed holes, make sure everything's sturdy and doing what it needs to do. And yeah, super happy with that. We can now move on to putting our light in as a mock-up and start working our way around a boost pipe. So right, as I said guys, I do the stainless steel coupler, and we've already got our aluminium piece on the aluminium side of our turbo. Just basically want to make sure our turbo is in the right position, and all we do is slip on over there. I have already welded on these 290s, and that piece basically just fits over there. Right, so as you can see, the clamp piece, the aluminium clamp piece, is movable, and your pipe has also got a lot of movement sideways or backwards and forth, and it can be orientated however you need it to. I haven't got the bolt in this side. I can pop that in. And it just uses a nice little Allen key, cap screw, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, we can now carry on mocking up our boost pipe. Okay, alright guys, basically we've mocked up our hot side boost pipe. We are low on bends, 63mm 2.5 inch, whatever you want to say, bends. So I will order some more bends and get that in, and then basically we have to just work out how we are going to pass through this light section at the bottom here. It just needs, you know, a little bit of either massaging this out. We might cut it and just add a bit of a cone in there, and then straight into our boost clamp. And the nice thing is we can still get the boost pipe in, just do our clamp, and everything will still fit where it needs to. The bonnet will still close. This will sit flush behind the grille. A lot of the the Mercedes guys that have boosted Mercedes have the intercooler sitting under the bumper, and it looks like an old man with a goatee. We're not doing that on this car. So that's sitting behind there. And the next thing I think we're going to move on to will be sound deadening. So we're going to put some T-mat made by Targa, a local company in South Africa, just to sound deaden the inside of the car, keep that road noise down. The Bara is not going to be that loud. We will have a 3-inch exhaust system, probably one silencer, but yeah, we just want to keep that road noise, still keep that Merc feel when you're sitting inside the cabin. So we're going to sound deaden everything, and then hopefully fit carpet and roof in upcoming episodes. But for now, let's lay some T-mat. Alright guys, so it was a long and tedious process. We had our man Zander lay all the T-mat. We've covered the floor. The roof still has its OEM, like a carpet sound deadening, and there's a few areas where they have like a nice thick rubber mat. So we're not affecting any of that, mainly just the floor, the boot section, the wheel tubs on the sides and the rear. We might do the doors. We'll just see once we have our door cards back how it'll look. It has got arms sitting on the outside of the door. Generally the arms sit on the inside. So we'll see how that comes to play. But we're super happy with how it's come out. Check another thing off the list. Sound deadening done. Next up, we're going to lay all new electrical wiring inside the car. The old fuse style, which I did discuss in a previous episode, is that blade, not the blade fuse, the I don't know what you'd call it, the tablet fuse, whatever. Terrible, they always break. So we are going to upgrade to a relay box with blade fuses, and everything is going to get controlled through that. Lights, hooters, radios, air suspension, all of that we will lay down before we put our carpet in. We are going with a nice black carpet and black roof, grey A-pillars and door panel pieces here, like a dark grey. And you'll see what we got in store for the seats and other leather items. But for now, we think Zander smashed it out the park. And yeah, let's move on to the next thing. Alright guys, so I've decided to keep this a nice, short and sweet episode. Nothing too hectic just yet. Obviously we're back on YouTube, and I am just trying to make regular content, you know, just like we used to. So, you know, all of the editing, all of the filming, all of the everything is done by me. So I also run a business, trying to do everything at once. A little bit difficult, but we're getting there. So here's one episode at least. we are super happy to be back on the W126 with our favorite engine in the world, the Bara. Yeah, we're excited to see what we put out, and yeah, thanks a lot, guys. In the next episode, we will be covering exhaust, finishing up the boost pipes, moving on to the RPM plenum. We are probably going to not use that. In the previous episode, we had a RPM plenum. It's just not what I'm going to use. I don't like how it sits in the car, so I'm probably just going to hand make my own. Use the stock flange. Might be able to get a flange made. We will see, but yeah, we will in the next episode sort out the plenum, cold side boost pipe, all of that, and start marking up fuel lines. The core EFI is mounted in place. The core EFI is the ECU we are running, which has auto tuning functions. So we will be running a lambda sensor, lambda sensor, O2 sensor, whatever you want to call it. We will be running an O2 sensor. Yeah, so the core EFI will be able to do auto tuning, sequential launch control, anti-lag, all that kind of fun things. Bluetooth capabilities. It's a great unit. It is a fantastic unit for us in South Africa. I'd love to throw a Haltech on this car, but a 1500 Elite is about the same price as this car, so we're not going to do that. So wiring for the core EFI was done. We did give Quinton the stock harness that came with this engine, and he basically depinned what he needed and repinned it for his plugs and everything. But we are going for a show car, and a lot has changed over the last 3 years on Quinton's work, my work, everything you can get in general. So yeah, we will be rewiring that, and yeah, we'll cover that in other episodes. I don't want to talk your guys' ears off. Just thank you for coming along. Enjoy the episode and enjoy future content. Thank you for sticking around. Like, subscribe, comment. I love your comments. It's always fun to read.